Hello YouTube, once again, part 5 of Halsey's journal. Once again, first entry for this video is April 1st, 2525. Failures. As a scientist, I've been trained to regard a failure as a data point. Build a trend from many data, project long-term structures, and learn from my mistakes. But now every failure means some malformation in a child, or even an excruciating death. Was the need to commensurate with the risk? We had to move quickly. The onset of puberty was the gating factor. That and the pressure from a growing insurgent front. Must move forward, find solutions. I'm sure the Vice Admiral's ONI trauma experts are reporting that I'm not letting go. They can all go to hell. I've ordered that no candidate autopsies be performed. Non-invasive scans and blood tests are permissible. Brief funeral services, closed casket, serve to help surviving Spartans attain physiological closure. Bodies of augmentation washouts are cryogenically preserved pending further study. Perhaps one day we'll discover ways to ameliorate or reverse lethal side effects and revive some, if not all of them. That is my hope. Reviving these candidates would be fraught with complexities, and not just from a technological perspective. How would they respond to an essentially new world when resuscitated months or even years later? How would surviving Spartans react to their comrade's resurrection? I certainly can't predict. One thing is certain, ONI would find a use for them. Those ravaged by malformations too serious to continue in the Spartan 2 program have an office various desk duties within ONI, thus allowing them to move on with a semblance of normality. I've assigned Deja to investigate as yet theoretical therapies that may resuscitate these washouts as fully functioning Spartans. One protocol already looks promising: the complete bone restructuring and attendant nanografts to effectively replace the skeletal system in toto. This may prove especially useful for Reen or Kirk. I'll let them adjust to their new jobs for several months before suggesting some of these experimental procedures, by which time the candidates will likely be willing to try anything to recover. Their past may be the most arduous of all Spartans, but I can't see them surviving vigorous indoctrination and training only to become passive spectators. June 27th, 2525. Planning is underway for experimental surgery, therapies, and rehabilitation of more than 80% of augmentation washouts. Several of these protocols may take years to complete. AIs predict a survival rate of no greater than 50%, but I suspect the Spartans will serve to live again with radically boost that percentage. They've always exceeded expectations. June 28th, 2525. This is my last official day at Camp Hathcock. The powers that be at Fleetcom offered me a corner suite in the Olympic Tower. Difficult environment to work in. Surely not their goal. Castle Base is my new home, until further notice. June 30th, 2525. It's been 4 months since we sent the prototype to Nav-Spec Weep for evaluation. I was shocked to learn that today that limited run production is approved. I was led to believe that this decision would be helplessly mirrored in military bureaucracy for at least another 3 months. Must follow up with my source on what prompted our military collective to make such a prompt decision. Can't be good news. The test case file was unwittingly attached to the official response. Some poor network jockey left a partial routing code in the gutter of one file that was trivial to backtrack through NavSpec Weep's firewalls. Clearly the file was never meant for my eyes, as it seems certain brass sycophants wanted to discredit my theories by actually putting a volunteer into the prototype suit. Lamentably, they ignored my emphatic warning about the reactive circuitry being fine-tuned for augmented Spartans with reflexes and strikes far beyond human norm. When the suit was activated, the volunteer's first muscular twitch was amplified by a positive feedback loop without the proper physiology and training to compensate. The feedback increased in the amplitude and frequently until, in the words of one witness, the poor bastard ricocheted like a rubber ball. Broke several bones, snapped his spine in 3 different places. I had specific safety measures to handle this precise situation, and I will find out which idiot failed to enable all the monitors. September 1st, 2525. Applying the new liquid metal crystal version of the polymerized lithium neobenzene. Unlike its non-liquid counterpart, this material is amorphous, which circumvents a major engineering obstacle, custom fitting millions of individual polygonal pieces under the second armor layer. We merely pour it into a capillary system where microelectric fields can direct crystallization geometrics. LMCP as material scales actually to double the wearer's strength over a superior range of motion. I can exceed this. Archaic safety regulations be damned. They never anticipated this technology. Disadvantages. Manufacturing processes involve classified supertoxic precursor materials and require a zero-gravity environment. Boy. Coupled with an extreme need for secrecy, these factors have led me to pick the orbital materials testing facility called Damascus for near Chi Seti 4, and relocating the materials group there. I'm ambivalent, though. Part of me wishes I could relocate as well to oversee every detail, but the next phase of the AA program requires my intimate involvement. Did not expect the separation anxiety to be so strong. I guess not hearing her cries wakes me up at night, too. Her. Curiouser and curiouser. November 3rd, 2525. First contacted harvest. Not even in my darkest nightmare did I envision this. If you want to know more, read the novel Contact Harvest. I assumed we'd be technologically inferior, but I never imagined so much carnage. How could advanced being engage in such unconscionable bloodletting? Humanity's less than unstained hands now when standing. They spoke our language. They know us, yet we know nothing of them. Who knows how long they've been studying us? We must assume they know our strengths, our weaknesses, a game changer. For the first time in decades, I don't feel safe, not even here, buried in the bowels of Reach. Yeah, well, when you got the Covenant, which are a bunch of religious nuts, so expect some craziness. That's what I was doing. November 5th, 2525. They're all scared. The only ones not showing any trace of emotion are the Vice Admiral and the usual suspects. Why? They somehow expect this. Can't let them see how terrified I am. Opportunities will emerge from this chaos. No more committees. No more red tape. Just a few personal obstacles and personalities to overcome. I've already taken steps to deal with these. The gloves are off, as Mendez says. February 24th, 2526. Covenant. Noun. A formal legal agreement between parties, or an oath between a preternatural power and sentient beings. This is how the aliens refer to themselves. We've discovered several client species in their collective. So, does covenant refer to a legalistic agreement among their species, or to a sacrosanct bond they share with some higher power whom they worship? To better understand and eventually exploit their physiology, we must find the answer. And here we got a little lineup of some of the species we know of. We'll draw of a grunt, a jackal, and a brute, and a question of how many other species are there. April 28th, 2526. Vice Admiral ordered us to repurpose everything to quell the Covenant threat, and to refocus our research on wartime strategy. I couldn't agree more. It was, after all, my idea. Inquired if the entrenched insurgency would adhere to our new policy. The sarcasm wasn't appreciated. Learned that Section 2 sent emissaries with full disclosure on the harvest event to warn outer colony leaders. We made the following offer. UNSC will immediately cease hostilities towards them if they will work to bolster their planetary defenses and end all assaults on our ships, since those may be the only few things standing between them and obliteration. They laughed. They thought it was just some kind of trap, a false disaster designed as a trick. With Oni's reputation, this is almost a reasonable first reaction. They soon swallowed a bitter dose of reality when they saw Bliss destroyed. Frantic pleas from Bliss disturbed classified footage from the Akara debilitated. They knew this was eons beyond the destructive capacity of the UNSC. No more laughter, only mourning. Now, resolve. An alien covenant single-handedly solved our civil war? Not a trade I would have willingly accepted, but I'm always open to victories, no matter how small. May 3rd, 2526. Smart and dumb artificial intelligence. Both flagrant misnomers. Deja is dumb with an equivalent human IQ of 240 within her field of expertise. Still not as smart as Dr. Ivo Eggman Robot. This without taking into account the degradation that occurs with intelligence quotients in organic systems, i.e. as humans, our minds eventually deteriorate with age, yet even the dumbest class of AI, unless terminated, continues to amass and synthesize data with precision. Smart AI is even more abstruse. This class of intellects is more aptly compared to stellar cycles than their distant organic cousins. They spark, burn brightly, and then either die by the crush of gravity or quickly terminate in a chaotic eruption. Both classes of AI accumulate knowledge, but smart AI has also grown their ability to draw conclusions from an incomplete dataset. Leaps of logic, as Dr. Forrester calls them, intuition, creativity. As smart AIs age, they make more interconnections within their neural matrix, increasing their cognitive abilities and expanding their demise. Cross-linkages continue with two possible outcomes. The sheer density of connections causes a cascade of irreversible quantum transfer, a short circuit in rustic parlance, eventually halting all functions or the AI takes extreme corrective action, eliminating connections via preemptive voltage overload. The latter often leads to aberrant personality manifestations or rampancy, death by intelligence. Current generation smart systems have a mean rampancy-free lifespan of only a few years. I've devised a new matrix strata with random access optical couplers that can theoretically extend the lifespan. By exactly how much, I don't know. A randomly coupled matrix also, at least in simulation, boosts correlation effects such as accurately guessing. Inherent design limitations remain, e.g. the necessity of human brain pattern to seed the initial matrix. Initiation time is obviously wasted as the fledgling AI overcomes this rudimentary neural linkage and develops its own superior system. The AI's death is inevitable. In any event, smart AIs were required for the Spartan 2 conscript's successful infiltration of outer colony networks, and we need them more than ever now to counter the Covenant. The Vice Admiral authorized the test run of my protocols. Am I breeding life from non-leaf? Am I playing God or Mother? Or perhaps I've been beguiled by sentimental anthropomorphism. December 11th, 2529, last entry for today. Had limited success using the illegal entry protocols, so-called PIs, to access a non-essential subroutine, if that term can even be accurately applied in one Covenant system. For details, see Dr. Hardy's work on the Jackal Shield Gauntlet. Unfortunately, this procedure accelerates the terminal cross-linkage effect in my AIs. Gerard believes he has a solution. I'm skeptical, proceeding with the utmost caution. We can't waste our AIs on desperate measures. Actually, we have time for one more entry. April 9th, 2530. Sometimes absence of data is in itself data. CPO Mendez is incommunicado. No one seems to know his whereabouts. I rarely trust intuition, but this stinks worse than one of the cheap Sweet William cigars. Must continue to monitor this situation. And that is all for this part of Dr. Halsey's journal. Stay tuned for the next time.